Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in our Nashville studios today, and we're going to talk about the MOS plate versus our new K plate and C plate. How about that? So, first of all, this is a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. MOS stands for Modular Optic System. What Glock has done, and many manufacturers have followed, of course, is created a footprint in the slide from the factory. They cover it with a cover plate. The cover plate is plastic. It comes from the factory with an adapter plate. Now, Glock at one point used to have 4 adapter plates in one box or one gun. And then they, decided, well, people throw away the rest of them, so we're just going to give them one adapter plate. And they include, typically, with these guns, the O2 plate. There's an 01, 03, 02, 03, 04. And then there's also, for the larger guns, an 05, 06, 07, 08 plate. We've got them all on our website. And you can see what they're using to adapt to. Typically, the O2 plate will adapt or accept an RMR, Trijicon RMR type optic, or the Holosun C optics. As you could guess, the K plate that we manufacture accepts the K footprints, which is the Holosun 507K, and the EPS carry, the SCS carry. There's one other one in there too, I believe. And so they're all on our website. So the K plate is actually a great option. And the C plate, of course, is brand new. So we created the the K plate first. It's been very successful because you'll see how it fits and how it looks better. And it's really the only option to use a K footprint optic on the MOS because there's no other plate available. So that said, let's go ahead and compare these things real quick, and we'll compare it to the Glock MOS. First, I want to take the MOS plastic cover plate off of this Glock 19. I will mention this is basically a stock gun. However, we just did a video that you should watch. It was really fun for this Radian Ramjet mini comp, and it's pretty awesome. Look at how it fits. It really helps reduce recoil, muzzle flip in particular. So let me go ahead and remove the plate here. Like I said, that video on the comp is kind of an extra. A video I just did, and it's something you should really watch. It shows you how these things work, and really has a lot of fun. Now, this little tool comes with the Glock gun. It's not the greatest, but it does fit and it does work. You don't want to use an Allen on it. This is a torque wrench, and for whatever reason, I'm having a lot of trouble getting it started. Here we go. Once you get it started, it goes. If you have a better tool, you should use it. But make sure it's the right size, otherwise you're going to strip these screws out. Tiny little screw, there's one. And you'll notice they do have a little bit of blue thread locker. I don't know if it's Loctite, but it's thread locker. And it's really important that you use some type of thread locker when you're installing these plates and these optics, because there's so much vibration. You can't see it, but so much vibration, the screws will walk out on you. And it's always important, even if you use thread locker of some sort, that you manage that screw every once in a while. Every once in a while, you look at it. Okay, is it still tight? If one of the things you're going to notice, if your shots start to be all over the place, sometimes that optic gets loose, and because the screws are backing off, and all of a sudden, you're shooting everywhere, and you're thinking, "What's wrong? Is it me?" And then all of a sudden, you go, "Oh wow, yeah, it's loose. Let me tighten it back down." So be aware of that. Okay, here's the cover plate. It took the screws out, and it pops right off. Like I said, Glock includes with their package, with the gun, and this one happened to have an O2 plate. And I believe they're almost always including the O2 plate because it's kind of the most popular. We improved the plate, and we improved the look, and I'm going to show you how that works. First of all, our plate is thinner than the Glock factory plate. So I'm going to measure the Glock factory plate. This C plate I'm about to show you. Let me zero this out. Okay, and let's see if I can get you to look at this. It says 0.098. I don't know if you can see that or not. So that's 0.098 in thickness. And the thickness is important because the thicker this is, the higher the optic sits, and that's not really what you want. You want the optic to sit as low as possible. And that's why if you don't have an MOS, we recommend you send your slide into us, and we'll mill the slide exactly for the optic and make it sit exactly as low as possible. You won't need an adapter plate, and it'll look like it grew there. And it shoots better because the lower the sight is to the bore, the more pointable it is, the more instinctive it is. And that's what makes the Glock really special is the grip angle, really makes it pointable. As soon as you put an optic on there, you've got to kind of point down a little bit because the optic is higher than the bore. So you're shooting downhill a little bit just to marry them up. But that's another conversation altogether. I've got a video on that somewhere. Now, there's the Glock factory plate. We measure that at 0.098. Here's the new C plate, which accepts the C optics, the Holosun 507C, and the RMR. And I'll measure this thing out at 735, I think is what it was. Yep. So about 25% thinner than the factory plate. Now, that's not all, because it not only is it thinner, but it fits better in the sense that if you look at this Glock factory plate, and I'm going to go and put it in place, it sits in place like that, okay? If I take my C optic and I drop it in here, let's see here, get it on here, you'll see there's little gaps right here and right there that, aren't necessarily attractive. I mean, it's functional, certainly, but not beautiful. And we like it to be beautiful. So I'll take the factory adapter plate off. And let me drop this C plate in. Now, this C plate, again, is just off the machine. It's, basically we just are getting these done. So I wanted to do a video earlier. But we've made this thing so it fits and it fills up the gap on either side. And it fits really like a glove. And look at that. It'll come in black, all right, for you who are concerned about that. You could Cerakote this in a different color as well. But watch what happens when I drop the Holosun C in here. And I got to really get it lined up perfectly. There you go. So now, if you can see, we have filled up the gap on either side, and it kind of, fits like a glove. It just looks like it grew there versus having these two, unsightly little gaps there. The C plates come with the screws necessary to attach the plate to the gun and then the optic to the plate. Remember, you're going to want to use thread locker on all four of those screws. The Holosun 507C uses a shorter screw than the Trijicon RMRs. So we get you all, well, there's really 6 screws that come with it. 2 shorter screws attach the plate to the MOS cutout, and 2 shorter screws will attach the Holosun 507C to the plate. If you're using an RMR, we have 2 longer screws for that. So that's how that works. Now, let me show you this other option here. And the reason I'm going to show you this is because a lot of people say, well, you know what, that Holosun C is a big optic. I'm going to use this as a concealed carry gun on my 19 or on my 17, whatever. I'd rather have a smaller optic. So a lot of people are opting for the K optics. So this is our K plate. And it drops in the same way. And we've done the same thing. We've filled in the gaps. It's in black, of course, so it may be a little harder to see because it really looks like it just grew there. And now the K optic fits directly on top of it. And it is tight. And there you go. And just like that. So that's how the K optic looks like. Boom, boom. And then here's your view back here. Now, all of these are going to require you use optic ready or suppressor sights or taller sights. But you can see the size difference, and I want to put them both side by side here, of the K and the C. So like I said, it's some people say, I just want the smaller optic. Some people like the larger window. It's really up to you. I mean, the bottom line is we've got a solution for both of them. Our K plate, which is in production, and we've already sold several hundred of them and is very, very popular. And our new C plate, which is going to be available by the time you see this video, will accommodate your C optic, the Holosun 507C or the Trijicon RMR. Either way, it's a better option than the Glock factory plate. It looks better, it sits lower. That's basically it. So there's what we're talking about and why we're talking about it, because we want that optic not only to look better, of course, but to sit lower because it's, again, more pointable. Now, if you don't have an MOS, we do offer our 10-day optics program. And since the last time I did this video, we've done now 15,000 slides have been sent to us. We have milled them for the optic of their choice. We've installed the optic, and we've sent it back to the customer in 10 days or less. And we haven't missed one. So it's 15,000 slides, and we are very thankful and humbled and grateful that people trust us with their slides. They come in, and we've got a system down. We've got the people, I've got the machines, I've got the shipping, and it just happens. So in 10 days or less, you get it back. And if you need to get your slide cut, this is the place to do it. This, of course, is the GlockStore here in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're ever in Nashville, I invite you to come down and visit, because the store is phenomenal. I mean, it really is. People come in and they say, oh, I've never seen anything like this. And then we take them to the ranges, the Shoot 270 range concept that's here, where you shoot in a room versus down a lane, where you can shoot at multiple targets in multiple directions. You can turn the lights down, use lasers and lights, draw from holsters, move, shoot around corners. I mean, do some things that are really dynamic and true, self-defense training that you can't do really anywhere else. So we invite you to come here to Nashville, check out the store, check out the beautiful town. And if you're there and, just say, hey, is Lenny around? I'll come out and shake your hand and take a picture. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you. See you next time.